Good morning, students. Welcome back to Gopala Swami online English classes. Today, I am going to discuss one poem from 9th standard English second language. If you have the textbook in front of you, please open it. It is page number 116 to 117. Second language English poem Nobleness Enkindled Nobleness. I repeat once again, page number 116 to 117, Nobleness, Enkindled Nobleness by James Russell Lowell. Today, we are going to discuss this poem, Nobleness, Enkindled Nobleness. See, the caption of the poem itself is so wonderful. It is so catchy. Nobleness. You know what is nobleness? All the goodness of the person, we can tell it as nobleness or good qualities of the person. The good qualities of the person, enkindled means it kindles. It is just like, putting fire to one lamp. And in the one from one lamp, it is going to brighten up the remaining or the other lamps. Okay, there is a popular Kannada song, Deepadinda Deepava, Hachabeku Manava. So, in the same way, here, the qualities of the good qualities, the noble qualities of a person is going to kindle, it is going to motivate, or it is going to help other person to become noble. This is the meaning of the caption in this poem. It's such words. These words are also, they are very dominant with meaning. It is the qualities of the human beings that are going to change the other person. So in this way you can understand that this poem is going to speak about goodness of human being, virtues of human being. Okay, all the best things that a person can do to another person. Okay, now, and it also speaks about the dangers of vengeance, the dangers of taking revenge on persons, other persons. So revenge is a negative quality, forgiveness is a positive quality of the human being. This is what you are going to study in this poem. It is a poem, the theme of the poem is taken from Bible, where Yusuf and Ibrahim, they are the pioneers. I mean, say they are the fathers of this story. You can also say that these people represent the beginning of Bible and Holy Quran. So in Quran also you can see this person Yusuf. In Bible also you can see this person. Okay, the stories are taken from, I mean, both Quran and Bible have origin in Old Testament. You should be knowing that. That is the a part of the Bible, right? So this is the introduction. See, in this poem, Yusuf believes that everything belongs to God and not to individuals. The main person here is Yusuf. By name Yusuf, he believes that the entire creation belongs to God. Nothing is from human being. So whatever that we have, it is the gift from God. So that is the belief of Yusuf. He offers his home to a complete stranger. He also offers the stranger a horse and some gold. A stranger is overawed by this kindness and admits that he killed Yusuf's son. See, the story is, the main character in this poem is Yusuf. He is such a wonderful person. He is such a generous person that he entertains. He gives shelter to a stranger who is not known to him. And the stranger, having taken all the help from Yusuf, shelter, food, gold, everything from him, that stranger ultimately tells that he had killed his son, Yusuf's son. But you know that Yusuf did not take revenge on this stranger who had killed his son, but instead he gave him some more gold and some more things to escape from the place. Okay. So this is the greatest quality of Yusuf. He displayed forgiveness. He did not take revenge on this person because it would make him another criminal. The stranger is a criminal, but Yusuf did not want to become another criminal by taking revenge on the stranger who had killed his son, but instead he entertained him. He gave him food, everything, and even after knowing about the incident, the truth, he did not take revenge, but instead he found the happiness in excusing this fellow. Okay, this is the total summary of the poem. And you see how this man displays, how this man, this Yusuf, the main character of the poem, becomes great in the end. He becomes such a great person only by his quality of forgiveness. Now let us paraphrase each stanza. Now let us start with the first stanza. A stranger came one night to Yusuf's tent. It is very simple. A stranger who is not known to Yusuf, he came to Yusuf's tent. No, tent means here, these people are tribals. So naturally, the type of life led by these people is a tribal life. That means they live in tent in the deserts maybe. Okay. So seeing the stranger came, and what did he say to Yusuf? Behold, one cast and in dread. Behold, please see, watch me, watch. Behold means to see something. Okay. Behold, one outcast, person expelled from community, outcast. ಸಮುದಾಯದಿಂದ ಜಾತಿಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಹಾಕಲ್ಪಟ್ಟವನು. Okay, he is sent out of the community for something bad that he had done. Maybe he had done some criminal activity, maybe he had done something wrong, so therefore he is sent out of the community, and he is searched for that. People are searching to kill him. So that is what in the next line you will see. Saying, behold, one cast in dread. He is in lot of fear. The man who has come to Yusuf, he is requesting, I am in lot of fear. Okay, please help me. Against whose life the bow of power is bent. Bow of power, it is the power which has ordered to kill him. Maybe anybody who is in search of this fellow, this criminal, they want to kill him. So therefore, they have the power to kill him. That is what? Power of bow, the life, whose life the bow of power is bent. So people are bent upon killing this. People are behind this power of one who has ordered to kill him. So that is the meaning here. And who flies and hath not where to lay his head. I come to thee for shelter and for food. So this man is searched everywhere. People are in search of this. The bow of power is behind this fellow. People are, looking for this fellow only to kill him. But this man is escaped from those hands, and now he has come to Yusuf asking for shelter, asking for food. Okay, he is requesting Yusuf to provide some food and shelter because he is in a lot of danger, fear. To Yusuf called through all our tribes the good. So Yusuf was popularly known as the good. See, the quality, the attribute given to Yusuf is the good. What a wonderful caption. So this man is known to everyone that everyone as a very good person, very generous person. Okay, known for his generosity. Naturally, this criminal has come to this man for food and shelter. So after hearing this, what is the response of Yusuf? How did he reply this man? The tent is mine, he says. The tent is mine, said Yusuf. Of course, this tent belongs to me. This is the house. This is my house. Okay? But no more than it is God's. Come in and be at peace. Maybe it belongs to, I am the owner, but it is not completely owned by me. It is the gift of God. God has given, that's why it is with me. So in a way, he says that everything is given by God only. Right? So come inside. Don't worry. Be in peace. It is not mine. It is God's creation. So be at peace. Freely shalt thou partake of all my store, as I of his whose buildeth over these, our tents, his glorious roof of night and day, and at whose door none ever yet heard nay. So this man displays great amount of generosity. He says, see, when H is addressed in capital, it refers to God. His, you see, I'll write here. If H is written in capital, it always refer to God. Okay, His. So freely partake, share. You can take whatever that is there in my tent. Freely partake all my store, as I have his who's buildeth over these. So this is built by God. So entire house is not mine. It is God's creation. His glorious roof of night and day. See, the creation of God is such a wonderful thing that he has created God, and it is the belief actually, belief of this person, that it is the God who has created day and night, and at whose door none ever yet heard nay. So this is God's creation. I am here only as a symbol, as a representative of the God. Here nobody would get the answer no. Never person was entertained with no. No, nay means, no old English nay. Anyway, nay means not. He has never said no or not to anything. So that is the greatness of this person. Anybody would come there, would get something from Yusuf. Right? So people had never got negative answer from Yusuf. So such was the greatness of this man. And naturally, this man who is a stranger was entertained, was given all the comforts in the tent of Yusuf. So understood, children? So let us go to the next stanza. After getting all the benefits, after getting all the comforts, after getting comfortable stay at Yusuf tent, naturally one would feel, naturally anybody for that matter will definitely feel emotionally they become very sensitive. Okay, sentimental, I should say. What a great person this man. I am a stranger, I am a criminal. Even though with all these things, this man is entertaining me. And he became so emotional. He was excited. Naturally, he says. So Yusuf entertained his guest that night. Next stanza. Yusuf entertained his guest that night. That night, Yusuf gave him all the comforts, whatever the guest could get. Whenever a guest comes to our house, we naturally provide all the things that we have with us. We take care of we take care of them with lot of love and affection. So in the same way, Yusuf also did the treatment, same treatment. how a guest should be entertained. So the guest, that stranger, was given all comforts in his tent. And waking him before day, E-R-E, er. See, meaning means before. Before day, he made him to wake up in the morning, and waking up before day said, "Here is gold, my swiftest horse is saddled for your night, your flight. Depart before the prying day, grow bold, as one lamp lights another, nor grows less, so nobleness enkindleth nobleness." What Yusuf did was, he woke him up in the morning and gave him gold. That means the wealth he gave. Wealth was given to this man. Here we say money. You can say money. Whatever that is needed for that man, he gave him money, he gave him gold, everything. Okay. Gold means in those days, maybe gold coins were in circulation. So, and he gave his swiftest horse, the fastest horse that he had with him. The swiftest horse, saddled for your flight. Okay, there is the horse. My horse you can use. Flight means the journey, right? Okay. For you, depart before prying day. Prying. Where is the word? Prying, such. You have to get up, take whatever that is given to you, and before you are caught, before somebody comes in search of you, please take my horse and go away. This is what Joseph did to the stranger. Okay. So he also says, as one lamp lights another. I already told you in Kannada, one lamp, one the deepa, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ದೀಪವನ್ನು ಹಚ್ಚೋ ಹಾಗೆ. Good qualities will always brighten the good qualities in other person. If we have good qualities and if we display good qualities, naturally other people will also do the same thing. Right? Okay. Now next stanza. That inward light the stranger's face made grand, which shines from that inward light the stranger's face made grand, which shines from all self-conquest. Kneeling low, he bowed his forehead upon Yusuf's hand, sobbing, "O Sheikh, I cannot leave thee so. I will repay you all this thou hast done unto that Ibrahim who slew thy son." See, this man was taken aback by generosity of Yusuf. This man became so emotionally excited that he ultimately says that inward light in stranger's face made grand. He got the light from Yusuf. The stranger received a kind of sentimental light. You can say that the goodness, actually transferred to this stranger. This man became totally a changed person now. Which shines from all self-conquest, kneeling low. So he bows before, he kneeling low. Mandiyuri kutkoladu. Okay. And he touches the hand of Yusuf. He bowed his forehead upon Yusuf's hand. So he bowed his hand. Forehead. Tanna haneyanna avana kaige muttistane. It is the act of asking for forgiveness. It is the act of repentance. It is the act of confession. This is how this man is going to tell the truth now. What actually he has done before. Sobbing. Bikki bikki alodu. Okay? Avana kai mele haneyanna ittu ee stranger sobbing. Bikki bikki alta. What he tells? "Oh Sheikh, I cannot leave thee so. I cannot leave you unless till I tell my truth. I cannot leave you. I will repay thee. I am going to repay now. I am going to give it back. Whatever that you have done, I am going to give in my own way. All this thou hast done to me. You have done so much for me. You have given me shelter. You have given me food. You have given me gold. You have given your horse to escape from this place. But how shall I repay you? How do I repay you? I'll repay, the way in which he repaid, you are going to see. Unto that Ibrahim who slew thy son. So he says that he had killed his son. Yusuf's son Ibrahim was killed by this man. And this is how he tells the truth. This is the way in which, by telling the truth, he repaid Yusuf's kindness or Yusuf's generosity. Okay? So now what happens? After knowing the truth, to what extent one would be disturbed. If somebody has killed our own people, we don't show mercy on them. We would very much think that we have to take revenge on this person. We feel like killing that person. We feel like shooting this person. We feel like doing something bad to that person. So to excuse such a great criminal activity, one should be really a great person. So this is how, after coming to know about his own son's death, his own son being killed by this stranger who has taken shelter in his own house, how does Yusuf display his character? How does he show? What is the response on the part of Yusuf? Naturally, one would get very much upset. And when you are not when you lose your normalcy, you may do anything. But this man kept quiet after knowing the truth about his son, the way in which his son was killed. All these things, naturally perturbs, disturbs a person. But Yusuf's reaction, you see, in the last stanza, the reaction of Yusuf, even after coming to know about the truth about his son's death, last stanza I'll read, just follow the lines. Take thrice the gold, said Yusuf, for thee into the desert, never to return. Oh, see, man, you take thrice, he has given something. Now he is offering thrice the amount. If you had given him 10,000 rupees, now he is offering 30,000 rupees. This is 1:3. Thrice the gold. Take away everything, whatever that I have, you take away. You go, don't return. My one black thought shall ride away from him. My one black thought, what a wonderful meaning is given in this line. You know that? What is that black thought he had? The black thought was, black thought means ketta yochane. You can imagine, you can understand that even Yusuf had the idea of taking revenge, but now that thought has gone away. Okay? My one black thought shall ride away from me. Now it is going away. You go. I don't want to take anything bad. I don't want to do anything bad to you. So this thought, the thought of taking revenge on the stranger, now it has vanished from the mind of Yusuf. My one black thought shall ride away from me, firstborn for whom by day and night I yearn. The first child of Yusuf was killed by this fellow. So he wanted that boy, okay, by day and night he had cried for the child. Longing, yearn means longing, means desires. He wanted to have his first child. Unfortunately, it is not there, it is killed. He had a desire, he had longing for the child, and maybe he must have cried day and night after the loss of the child. So now in the last two stanza, the judgment is given. Balanced and just are all God's decrees. God is going to give judgment for everyone's sin and good things. If you have done wrong things, you are going to get it from God. If you have done good things, you are going to get it from God. This is how good and bad things are balanced by God. Now, how is balanced? The balance is that the black thought that Yusuf had now has gone. If he had done anything bad to this man, the stranger, even there was all the opportunities for him to kill this fellow, what would God think? What is the difference between Yusuf and this man who is a criminal? There is no difference. And this man also killed, and this man also killed. That is not the noble quality. The noble quality is the forgiveness. Okay? You have done, you go away. I will suffer. I will take. How did he take revenge? The revenge is, thou art avenged my firstborn, sleep in peace. He tells to his son who is killed, we don't know where he is. He must be in the funeral, he must be in the graveyard. So, all these days he had that thought. What is that thought? How to take revenge. Now it has gone. Now he has given full forgiveness to this fellow. And now he tells his own son who is in, where, it is in funeral. After the funeral, we don't know. Maybe in the graveyard. So he tells that son who is not living now, who is dead. Okay, sleep in peace. Sleep in peace. You take wonderful sleep in your graveyard or wherever you are. If he's in heaven, okay, be in peace. So that is how the revenge is taken by Yusuf in the form of forgiveness. Forgiveness was the greatest quality. Forgiveness was the greatest weapon to take revenge. That is what the poem says about. This is the noble quality being displayed by Yusuf, and that quality made him to reveal the truth also by the stranger. So this is how this beautiful poem, it runs like a story, and it is by James Russell Lowell, who has given the messages that we should always show mercy on people even though they have done wrong things. The greatest quality is the forgiveness. Okay? Your greatest quality is displayed in the form of forgiveness. So always think about this virtue, this greatest quality of human being. Right? Thank you very much.